Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet the author of the AI Imperative. He's going to explain why if you're not on the AI train, you better climb aboard because it's pulling out of the station. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, AI has been around for generations, but for many Americans, they didn't even know what it was until ChatGPT came along, and now suddenly everybody has to get on the AI train. Somebody who knew about AI way back in the 80s is my next guest, John Arnott with C1M. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
You were telling me a story just before we started taping about your dad and sending you something.
Yeah, when I was at the University of Texas, I really wanted to pursue AI, and I didn't really think much of it. But then my dad, he sent me just a couple of months ago the program for my college graduation. And when I opened the program, I found a piece of paper in it. It was yellowed, it was wrinkled, and it was my resume from 1988. It was a pretty sparse resume. It had a dorm room on the top, and in the second section, it said artificial intelligence, and it had the languages I was learning for AI. And in the goals that I was pursuing, it said I wanted to build knowledge-based systems for large companies.
Wow.
Well, a lot of time had passed, a second AI winter passed, but here we are today, truly able to adopt artificial intelligence for organizations.
Are you surprised at how quickly the whole conversation in America changed with ChatGPT?
Oh, I absolutely am. One of the things that I wanted to do was change our messaging to emphasize how AI could help businesses. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I presented it to a trusted group of people. And when I presented it, they said, well, we think AI might be too techy. People might not know what it is. Fast forward to a year ago, everyone knows what AI is today.
Yes. And you've written several books, but I want to call everybody's attention to your latest book, The AI Imperative, and we've got it on the screen there. Tell us about the book.
The book is intended to help CEOs, help them adopt AI in their enterprise. It's intended to be a guidebook, a handbook. They can cherry pick chapters and choose what's best for their organization. It gives them some background in AI, what it came from, but more importantly, it also gives actionable insights for different types of businesses on how they can use it in their organization. It's intended to get the AI journey started for a CEO or a business leader.
Yeah, and AI is one of those buzzwords where everybody likes to be an expert in AI. And so you have all these senior vice presidents coming to the CEO saying, boss, we got to do this, and they're pointing the boss in sometimes 10 different directions. So your book somewhat demystifies the process for the CEO?
Yeah, the book demystifies the process. It gives some starting points, and it guides that CEO, that leader, to the first step, which is to determine which initiatives are what I call closest to the money. That is, what can I do to adopt artificial intelligence by our organization that either increases revenue, improves efficiencies, least disruptive, that can be successful. It's about pursuing the known knowns in AI, what we know can work, as opposed to maybe the panacea or the promise. And when a CEO's getting the buzz from 10 different people in his or her ear, they're not sure where to start. So I say you start with somebody that can be a part of your organization as your chief AI officer in a fractional manner and provide that advice, and then come up with a list of projects.
Sure. We've got some video from our library that I want to put up on the screen, and let's talk a little bit about how a company can start. Like when you're consulting a company, like what is like AI 101?
Yeah. So we'll focus on one aspect of AI for this conversation, generative AI, the stuff that we're getting accustomed to with ChatGPT and other tools. Where can they start? They can start really simple. Summarization. If they have meetings that are on Microsoft Teams or Zoom, take the transcript of that, summarize it, determine who owes what are the action items. That's a really easy way to use generative AI in your organization, and you've just made a project manager much more efficient. Then roll that out further. AI that can help you be more creative, AI that can analyze documents, feed it financial documents, have it interpret them for you. These are things where it makes it really easy to get started with an organization and then expand on that.
How has AI changed your company?
AI has changed our company fairly significantly. We started about 4 years ago. Our company is called C1M, it stands for Content First Marketing, and we built our business on helping business owners grow with really good marketing services. Well, one of the things we realized is search engine optimization was all over the place. There were promises that weren't met. There were experts that were really good. It was a wide range. So we decided if we were going to play in that space, we were going to be all in. We were going to be a content-first SEO company. Well, how do you do that and ensure that you're not making bad decisions? So we created 2 custom AIs, a prescriptive AI and a predictive AI. The predictive AI told our team, these are the things that will likely rank, and these are the things you can most likely rank through for in the shortest amount of time. The prescriptive AI told us what to write. You need 4,500 words on this topic with 17 headers and 41 images, and that's what we did. So we used it internally to make us better, and then over time, when the technologies kept improving, like we saw with ChatGPT and subsequent updates, it's helped our writers be better writers, our copywriters be better copywriters. They've ended up being tools that help our project managers never miss anything because every single meeting is recorded and summarized. And so it's really helped our organization be much more effective, efficient, and deliver best-of-breed solutions.
I run into people who have very strong opinions. Some people think it's the best tool ever invented since the wheel. Others say it's the beginning of the end of civilization as we know it because kids aren't going to be able to write their own essay. Where do you fall?
I fall in this is something that is going to make people more effective. Think of it this way. If you had a bookkeeper and they insisted to do everything on a hand ledger instead of using Excel, you probably wouldn't want that bookkeeper. Excel isn't cheating. Excel isn't something that is taking away jobs. Excel was making her much more effective. Well, same thing with generative AIs, whether it's for art, music, writing. It helps make people that are already good in that space better and more effective. So I am from the camp that these are tools, these are co-pilots, these are things that help make people better. Our message is human-directed, AI-enabled, and as long as we have that mindset when it comes to these tools, where it's always the human guiding it, I think it will make us all better. It'll raise.
Sure. I want to pull up your speaking website, johnarnott.com, and as we scroll down your website, let's talk about the kinds of groups that are booking you to speak these days.
Yeah.
Is it industries or across the board?
That's a great question. So I've spoken at some industry events. I've been asked to speak at company events, whether those are company meetings or company celebrations. I've also had the opportunity to speak at meetings of CEO groups. I'm part of a group called Vistage, and in that group, CEOs get together, and I've had the opportunity to speak to them. I work with these different groups to share a message that will help them based on who they are and what role they play, use AI to the best way they can in their organization.
And I know you're also passionate about SEO. How has AI changed to the world of SEO?
Well, AI initially for us made it so that the things that we created we knew would actually work as opposed to waiting 6 to 9 months to find out it didn't work. That helped us in the past. Where we are today is much more interesting because it begs the question, how will search change? Google made some huge changes to their algorithms in the fall of 2023. Google's going to keep doing those things to be able to protect its business and its business interests. As more people get their search from tools like a ChatGPT or a Claude or some other tool out there, it does beg the question how search will fit. And I think we all in this space are watching very closely to determine how we can keep brands in front of eyes as search changes.
Outstanding. John, we're almost out of time, so final thoughts. What would you like to leave the viewer with?
I would like to leave the viewer with think about AI as something that you should find a way to adopt in your own work. It doesn't matter what you do. find a tool, a co-pilot, find a little annoying task that you don't like to do, and see if you can craft something to help do that task.
Outstanding. We're going to end with his speaking website, which again is johnarnott.com. The great John Arnott with C1M. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.